Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Somebody sent me a message asking how is it that some people do not have very effective brains while others are very brainy people. Now this was shocking because everybody has a brain which is a complex part of the body. And this amazing organ has the ability to send, receive a lot of information, analyze it. Whether you use it or not is your fault. It's like a piece of computer within you. And if you don't know how to work the computer, you don't know the components of the computer. The fault is not of the computer, but of yourself. So I thought, okay, let's talk about some mystery of the human brain so that you know what amazing organ you have. And here are some quick facts to help you understand this complicated organ in your body. First of all, this talk of multitasking is absolutely nonsense. We think we are multitasking. We are not. We are in fact actually context switching. It's shifting from one browser to the other browser. That's it. And that's why people who are multitasking are very sharp at quickly shifting back and forth different tasks rather than doing them at the same time. In micro minutes, milliseconds, they can shift from one task to the other. So they are not performing two tasks at one time, they are performing only one task. So, as a matter of fact, multitasking can be detrimental. Even I do the multitasking, but it is detrimental. And the error rate goes up by 50%. And actually you take twice the time to perform the job. That is about a task. But what about the brain? What brain is brain? Brain is about, the total weight is about 3 pounds. The cerebrum makes up 85% of the brain's weight. And the brain makes about 2% of the human body weight. The texture of the brain is like a firm jelly. And the heaviest normal brain weighs, until now has weighed 4.43 pounds. It belonged to great Russian writer Turgenev. And the women who had the smallest brain, just 2.41 pounds. So average is about 3 pounds. Some have more, some have less, but it ranges around 3 pounds. But even these few pounds, 3, 4, 75% of them is water. Now don't forget that. We say dehydration. If you have dehydration, even 2%, it can negatively affect your brain functions. Dehydration and the loss of sodium and electrolytes can cause acute changes in memory and attention. So we talk of the dehydration as the physical body is concerned, and we forget that the brain needs water as well. Third, or the fourth, the human brain will triple its size in the first 2 years of life. A 2-year-old baby has about 80% fully grown brain. Now, it continues to grow for a long time. It keeps on growing until it reaches its normal weight. But 2 years old, 85% is already there. And that is what happens. Slowly and steadily it keeps on growing. And at the age of 25, the human brain has reached a full maturity. And if you compare to the other vertebrate animals in the whole world, there are many species which are vertebrate like human beings. Human brain is the largest brain in all the vertebrates. So, that's why human beings have a capability of cognition. Then we suffer headaches. Headaches are nothing but a chemical reaction in your brain. Or It can be nerves or blood vessels surrounding your skull, and the muscles of your head and neck, or a combination of these two. So these are primary reasons of headaches. And what happens is when the serotonin or estrogen levels change, the result is headache. And the next fact you will remember is that the total human brain has 100 billion neurons. 100 billion, imagine it. It's the same number as the number of stars in the Milky Way galaxy. 100 billion are the stars which make the Milky Way you see at night, and 100 billion neurons are there in the brain, and they are connected by trillions of connections. In medical terms they call them synapses, and experts call this neuron forest. Information runs between these neurons at different speeds. The fastest speed of information is about 250 miles per hour. Now, though there are 100 billion neurons, they make up only 10% of the brain. That's it. Rest all is. Then let me tell you about a myth. People say that we use only 10% of the brain. No, that's wrong. Everybody uses 100% of the brain. Whether they use it correctly or not is something different. Although it's true that at one point all the brain's regions are not concurrently firing, but all the muscles, like body muscles, it is active 24/7. And we always hear cholesterol is bad. As a matter of fact, cholesterol is a key to learning and memory. And the highest cholesterol content is in brain. In fact, 25% of the body's cholesterol is in just these 3 pounds of brain. Just. And if you don't have cholesterol in the brain, you will not be able to work, because you will not have memory, you will not be able to learn. And the brain is dependent on cholesterol, because the blood-brain barrier prevents brain cells from taking up cholesterol from the blood. So brain has to produce its own cholesterol. And it's much more stable than the cholesterol in the other organs. But when, here's the beauty. If the cholesterol in the body breaks down, it is not recycled. But the brain recycles the broken cholesterol so that the new level, or the right level, is maintained. Then, what are the dreams? They are a combination of imagination, psychological factors, neurological factors, and physiological factors. And we have both waking and dreaming emotions, and they are associated with fear, and those fears become active during the dreams. And in fact, dreams are a proof that your brain is working even when you're sleeping. And an average human brain has 4 to 7 dreams per night. And here is a very interesting fact. If you dream more, you will have a better memory. Well, here's a comment. Does the difference in weight of brain for men and women has anything to do with the different thinking? Well, this was by Mr. Singh Jaspal from Mississauga. Yes, as a matter of fact, this is a very complex situation. It's not exactly the weight which matters as far as the different thinking is concerned. It is the grooves in the brain which are much more important. The deeper the grooves, the better it is. And women have deeper grooves. So let me tell you, they might have less brain, but the grooves in the brain are much deeper, and that's why they can think more innovatively on an average. Coming back, the short memory that we have lasts for 20 to 30 seconds. Now this has a lot to do with your brain's capacity for holding small amounts of information in the active mind. Most people hold memory for numbers around 7 seconds. Memory for letters about 9 seconds. In addition, brain can store up to 7 digits in working memory. And do you know, this is the one reason that the telephone numbers are 7-digit long. You must have been thinking, 3 digits are of the area code and then the 7 digits. So you are in one area, the code would be the same. But the 7 digits, because my brain can store up to 7 digits, is in working memory. Now what's brain freeze? Actually, brain freeze is really a warning signal. Officially, ganglion neuralgia is brain freeze. It happens when you eat or drink something that's too cold. And when it's too cold, it chills the blood vessels and arteries in the back of the throat that are taking blood to the brain. So they constrict. This is a brain's way of telling you stop taking too much of ice cold things. No, not much variation should be there. And now imagine another thing. We say we feel pain because of brain. No, brain can never feel pain. There are no brain pain receptors in the brain itself. But the coverings of the brain called meninx and the covering of the bones and the skull all have brain receptors. So surgery can be done on brain and technically brain would not feel any pain. The receptors are outside the brain in a covering but not in the brain itself. And then another thing, imagine, as we get older, our brain keeps on getting smaller and smaller. Human brain keeps developing until you are in the late 40s. And it's the only organ in the human body, can you believe it, to undergo development for such a long time. It also sees more changes than any other organ. However, the size does not matter in the brain. Now, here is important, Mr. Singh, just ask your question. It's immaterial what size your brain is. As a matter of fact, there is no evidence that a larger brain is smarter than a smaller one. As I said earlier, it is the grooves in the brain which are important. Then, alcohol affects negatively. In the sense, it can blur your vision, slur speaking, make you walk unsteadily, and so on. And long-term effects are on memory issues and reduced thinking capability. And one thing very interesting, it was in 2005 that National Science Foundation published a report. And we came to know that an average person has 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. So, people have more thoughts, are more creative. But an average person, 12 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Of those, 95% are exactly the same repetitive thoughts of the day before. And about 80% thoughts are negative. So when the people say don't have negative thoughts, and I always say, why not? Because negative thoughts generate positive thoughts. But what you have got to see is that you have got to formulate your brain in a way that the repetitive thoughts are not repeated too often. Then, another thing very interesting. There is a small portion and 75% water. It uses 20% of the oxygen and blood in your body. Brain needs a constant supply of oxygen. As little as 5 minutes without oxygen can cause some brain cells to die, leading to severe brain damage. And harder you think, if you are thinking hard, you need more oxygen and more fuel. So, as a matter of fact, when you are thinking hard, up to 50% more consumption of the blood and oxygen is there. And that's why you need aerobic exercises that increase your heart rate so that the blood flow to the brain increases. And as your increased breathing pumps more oxygen into bloodstream, more oxygen is also delivered to the brain. And can you believe another interesting fact? I don't know whether many people are aware of that or not. The visual areas of the brain are at the back. The part of the brain responsible for the vision, the occipital lobe, is located in the back. That's why if somebody bangs you on the back of your head, you will see the stars. And the left side of the brain controls the vision on the right side, and the right side of the brain controls the vision on the left side. The brain also processes sound on the opposite sides of the head. Left side controls the right ear, right side controls the left ear. Now this is very complex thing. Why? Then are you aware that your brain is a generator? It generates electricity, power. When you are awake, your brain generates about 25 watts of electricity. And that's enough to light a small light bulb. So when we say in vernacular, the light has gone up, the bulb has lighted, it's a reality. The brain also works fast. The information going down from your arms and legs to your brain travels at a speed of 260 miles per hour. And brain consumes glucose from the body to produce its amount of energy. That's why sugar is extremely important for the brain activity. If you don't brain sugar. And now another factor. We tell children not to read aloud, but it's wrong. As a matter of fact, reading aloud promotes brain development. Children first learn to read by speaking words loud. Once the knowledge is established, they learn to read themselves. It is very strange that the brain, because we usually tell the children, read slow, talk politely. No. To promote brain development in the child, you should read and talk aloud in front of them. And then very interesting fact, your brain is mostly fat. 75% is water and 60% of your brain is fat. Is the fattiest organ in the body. That's why you need more fats and you need more sugar. And then brain requires rest, judgment, memory, reaction time can all be impaired. So sleep is imperative. Now coming back, as I told you yesterday, we keep on dreaming. And the new research has shown that the dreams make your brain stronger. The more you dream, the stronger your brain is. Because when you are dreaming, the capillary blood flow increases. And that having increased, your memory increases. The purpose of dreaming is not only nonsense, it's basically while you're asleep, you are susceptible to danger and predators. At least today you are safe in your homes. When you are out camping, when didn't have homes, it was important for our ancestors. But that has continued the brain function. Dreams can be scary, they can be funny, but they are mostly cathartic. They purge your brain of all the emotions that are useless. They are purged, that's what I said. At the end of the day, when you dream, the dreams leave you scratching your heads in confusion more than anything else. So what's the purpose then? As a matter of fact, the purpose is to reset, recharge, and process your memories. And when you are dreaming, as a matter of fact, your brain is defragmenting and consolidating. And your activity is optimized. So that's why for the memory portion, it's important to have brain and dream. There's a strong case for REM sleep and dreaming. And that's an essential part to keep your mind sharp well into old age. The people who don't dream well would have Parkinson's, dementia, and Alzheimer's. The more you dream, the more active your brain is. So these are some parts of human brain. And the last, before I close down for today, Are you aware that your body knows before your brain does? We always say that brain tells you to do it and your body responds. No. Brain is everything that we do. That's right. It creates our perception of reality. That's true. But according to the latest research, your body acts much sooner than the brain tells it to act. It's a reflexive action. It's not a cognitive action. And that is why once the body starts acting, then brain starts stimulating that action and the action continues. First is instinctive, then the cognition sets in and you are asked to do it. And that's why you might have seen that somebody you want to start something and then you withdraw because by that time your cognitive skills are in. So this brain, a very complex, a very living organ, is an amazing organ, and proper utilization of that can keep us absolutely well up, creative, sharp, and capable. Thank you.